Hi everyone, so this is the sheep planter that I got from Amazon, and I am taking my apple barrel black paint and I'm going to paint the two end sheeps, one on the right and one on the left, but I'm going to just do the legs and the face. And then I end up leaving the three in the middle just the way they are. And the sheep planter is so cute. I just love the color and just how it came like that. But I'm loving the black on the legs and the face. And look at how cute that is. Adorable. So that's it. That's all I had to do with the planter. And then I had this book that I found at one of the thrift stores I went to. Just a little wooden book. And I go over it with Waverly plaster and just give it a rough coat because I'm going to apply some rice paper on here. And I got this rice paper from, I believe it was Decoupage Central. I'm just going to Mod Podge that on here after I take off my edges. And I ended up ripping it into two pieces, so I had to kind of piece it on here. So once I get this all on here, I'm going to gator off all the excess on the edges. And it's a very bright paper. And I go in with, after I gator all this off, I go in with the Dixie Belle Grunge, the gray grunge. And you'll see after, I end up going over the whole thing with the Dixie, not the Dixie Belle, it was the Kilts dark sealing wax to go over the whole print because I just didn't want it that bright. I wanted it to match with that planter better. And you'll see I'll end up doing that after. I go for the back also to make it all match. And I just run it through the surface in different areas and make it look grungy. And now I have this Rolatex. It's from Amazon. It's a texture additive. I've seen Fine Crafts by Eddie use it. That's Julie. And I got some for myself. And right now I'm painting the clay pot with the Waverly plaster. But I'm going to take that texture additive with some Waverly moss. And we're going to pounce that onto the clay pot after to give it some texture. I'm going to put it in my little cup and I'm going to add some of that sand. And it's literally like sand. That's what it is. And you just mix that in and it gets very thick. And then you just pounce it on. And it's going to make a lot of nice texture on that pot. And I'm leaving some of the white showing through. And you can kind of see where it's clumping, which is great. You want to let those clumps stay on there, and I'll end up sanding it after. You can see it. See, there's like little pieces of that sand in there. And then I decided to go in with a little bit of the Waverly truffle. I wanted to add a little brown. And now I'm just kind of going in and sanding all those colors together. And I end up going after with some Waverly plaster and just putting a little bit more plaster on there because I wanted to get it just a little brighter than what it looks like now. But But I had this block that I put two pieces of wood together, glued them together. The pieces of wood were from the Dollar Tree that I cut and glued. And that I'm going to put in the sheep planter so I can stand my pot and lift it up a little bit. It needed a little height. And see, this is where I go in with my wax on my book. And this just really made it look so much nicer to go with the sheep planter. Yep, and I love it. So that was done with that. And then now this is where I go in with the wax on the pot also. And I had this little spindle from Lovett's Garden that I was just going over with some plaster also to brighten it up a little bit. It was like a kind of like a cream color, but I wanted to go over with the plaster. And then I end up doing some wax, the Kilt's Dark Sealing wax over it also in certain areas. And we're just going to add this to our planter as a filler. And then I decided after this, I was looking at the book, I wanted to put a stamp on the book. So I have my word stamps that I got from IOD. And I'm going to take one of them, you're going to see that in a second. And we're going to stamp that on the book. I just go over the whole print with the stamp, and it looks so cute with it on there. I love it. I'm going to dry it a little bit. And look at how cute. Now I'm going to put some of the foam filler in there. And I'm going to take some moss, and I'm going to start filling that pot with the moss. And I'm going to go in with a bird's nest on top. And I kind of had to maneuver the moss a little bit with the bird's nest because it was too puffy sticking up. So I just kind of moved it around and then stuck that nest right in there and glued it. And then I add a little moss to the nest. And then we're going to add our little bird. And that little bird I got from Hobby Lobby. It's super cute. And then I add it onto our block that we put in the sheep planter. And then I have two more pieces of foam that I'm going to add into the sheep planter. And the middle one is going to be some flowers that we're going to put in there. And then I wanted the height in the front of the book to put the spindles. I have some lamb's ears that I'm putting in there and some more greenery. And then I had the little pieces of wheat that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to put a few pieces of that wheat in there. I'm just cutting them down to see where I want them and how long I want them. And then I have some Sweet Annie that I'm going to go in and put some Sweet Annie in here. And I got that Sweet Annie from Lovin' Mama's Farm on Etsy. It's Luvin Mama, Mama Farm. And she has beautiful Sweet Annie. And I just love how this whole thing came together. I'm actually going to make myself one because this went in my auction last night. And I have those cute little, see those little spindles, the brown one right there. I got those off of Temu. They come in a little bag. with a few of them. And then I have, I think this is raffia. The raffia I just put around the whole outer part of the sheet planter. And I just love how it made it look. It looks so cute. So I'm just going all around the front, and then I'm going to start making my way around the back. And look at that. I just love this. I love the two little sheeps with the black faces. Just everything about this I love. And then I decided to put a little muslin bow. It's coffee stained, and a little piece of jute string that I tied into a bow. And I added that to the book in the corner. And that just finished it off. Then we added a little button on there too. So I hope you like this. I am in love with this project. I just love how it all came together, and I hope you do too. Let me know what you think. All right. Take care, everyone.